Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing very well. So today's video is a little bit different. I'm kind of switching it up, kind of also bringing it back to last year when I made the full pumpkin patch sweater. I was going through a lot of my yarn and I found two bags that I kind of forgot about, but I remembered that I saved one particular bag for sort of Valentine's Day content, and that is this red bag of yarn. And then I was looking through my wardrobe and I found this cardigan that I made maybe 2 years ago, and it is this kind of cottagecore aesthetic cardigan. It is one of the first pieces of clothing that I ever made with crochet. It is with this kind of cream baby yarn, and then it has these puff daisies dotted all around the sleeve, and then on the collar, or like the chest area, I sewed like a little mushroom to it. The thing about this cardigan was that the fit of it was really nice, but around the sleeves not so much, and I think it was just because I was a beginner. I didn't really know, or wasn't as well educated about kind of decreasing as I am now. So when I look at this kind of cuff, I kind of laugh because like it is so tight, because all I did was cinch it in like with literally a decrease every single stitch for the cuff, and it is just like I cannot get my wrist through this cuff, and so I think mostly because of that, it just was not a cardigan that I've really wore ever, and it's just sitting there, and this yarn is like literally in perfect condition. I just thought, rather than like going and getting new yarn, I don't really need to if I've got all of this yarn and it's just sitting there, I'm not using it, and it's in great condition. So I thought I would unpick this cardigan. I think it's time to say goodbye and make something new and fresh, and something that I actually will wear, incorporating it with the charity shop bag of yarn that I got last year as well, to kind of create this strawberry like love themed jumper or cardigan. I haven't decided yet if it's going to be a jumper or cardigan, but I am going to draw up a few designs, have a look on Pinterest as well for some inspiration, and yeah, we're just going to spend the weekend making a really cute jumper or cardigan or vest. I don't know what it is yet. Make sure that you check out the members section of my channel, because you can get early access to my videos as well. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to start designing now. I've just opened Adobe Fresco. It's just the one that I prefer to use because it's kind of simplified. Start with a new layer, and I just kind of want to keep it simple, so I'm just going to change the background so that the colours are a little bit more easier contrast to see. Ooh, should we go with green? Let's do a green background, a little bit different. So let's fill that, and I kind of want the jumper, to be honest, to be a bit more simple, so I'm just going to kind of keep it as a cream jumper. Oh, by the way, I decided on a cream jumper. Sorry if I didn't specify or whatever. Let's make this very light. So let's see how big this brush is. It's quite small. Let's make it a little bit thicker. I'm thinking cream jumper, just keeping it simple, maybe some sort of knit look stitch with it, and then like a nice ribbed neckline, oversized, and then I want the detail to be around the cuff, so I want to do like that strawberry puff stitch. I think that would be quite cute. Add a new layer. I'm going to draw out a basic shape of the jumper, so just start at the neckline like that, and then make the shoulders going across, and actually I need to make that a little bit smaller because I don't think it's going to fit. So there's the neckline, the shoulders, and then I'll just go straight down to kind of make it look like a vest, and this is going to be the front panel. I'm really not the best at digital drawing, but to be honest, it's just for the visuals, to get a good idea of how I want it to look. That will do. I'm just going to fill this in now. I'm just going to make the brush a slightly darker colour to show where the collar section is going to be. let's make the brush size a little bit smaller. So I want it to kind of be like that. I'm just going to fill that in. There we go. I guess that's pretty much what I'm looking for. And then I'm going to do the same on the cuffs just so that it's a bit easier to see everything. I'm going to make the background a bit lighter because actually, or should I make it darker? Oh, darker definitely. I was thinking about a kind of strawberry stitch cuff thing. So let's get one of the, do we do a brighter red or a darker red? Let's just go for kind of this kind of red. And let's make the brush a little bit smaller. Cool. I'm going to make the strawberries kind of go across, so I'll just make these kind of little blobs going across. Same on the other side. And then just some small leaves, not anything too crazy, not like crazy detail, it's just to see what that would look like. Let's change the green. Just drawing the leaves now. I'm not a good digital drawer in any way. I just quite enjoy it, especially from crochet stuff. It's quite fun. It's hard to draw at an angle on like a digital drawing tablet thing. It's like, for me, I'm a much better drawer when it comes to physical, like paper and pen or paper and pencil. It's cute. That's kind of the idea I have so far. It's very simple, but I quite like it. I definitely think I'll wear it because I'm definitely more of a simple person. I like little sections of colour rather than something that's super colourful. I just always find it hard to wear. I'm more of like a neutrals person. But yeah, I'm liking the drawing so far. So now I'm literally just going to have to unravel this cardigan, pick out some colours from the charity shop bag. So yeah. Hello everyone, so it is now the following day, it is late afternoon and I have just been literally doing the same thing, just unplucking this cardigan and putting them into little balls. And what I wanted to do is, rather than just keep unpicking for another like 4 hours, I was just going to get a head start on the panels. Also I'm getting a bit bored of unpicking it. I only have enough cream wool for like the main part of the cardigan, but not the kind of collar section and the cuffs and the bottom hem section, so I might have to get a different colour for that. Obviously I have the brown that I used in the previous cardigan, but I don't think I want to use brown. Yeah, it's really just deciding what will be my second colour. I've got an idea of, obviously with the strawberries, I think I'm going to either do red or pink, and because I don't have a lot of red in my wardrobe, I think I'm going to do like a deep red, and then I've got a really nice like sage green colour for the leaves. So it's really what will go well against that. And I've got this baby pink yarn. I think I've decided, rather than doing a waistcoat stitch, I am going to do a normal double crochet. I did try the waistcoat stitch a few times and it just didn't, it's not like my best stitch. I'm not very well practiced in it, and it's also not a very tall stitch, and I think that it's going to use up the yarn and not make the panel very tall, and I don't want to run out of yarn and find out like literally towards the end that I don't have enough yarn and I've done this waistcoat stitch. So yeah, I'm just going to get started on that now. I'm just going to basically make one big square for the front back panel. I want it to, sort of similar to this jacket that I'm wearing, I want it to kind of go right past my shoulders and kind of down my arm. See that seam there? I'm going to make it similar, and then the sleeves will start a little bit further down the arm. Yeah, I think that's everything, so I'm going to just carry on now. So I'm just starting off with a big long chain. I've chained about 85 and then a +1 for a turning chain, and now I'm just going to work in the back bumps doing double crochets all the way down. The reason why I'm doing it in the back bumps is because it gives a more seamless effect, and it also allows you to crochet into an actual stitch for the hem. Obviously you don't have to do that, but I just prefer to. So I'm just going to go into the second chain from the hook, and I'm just going to be making my double crochet in the back bump, and I'm just going to go into each back bump making 1 double crochet, and then when I reach the end of the row I'm just going to turn the work and make more double crochets all the way across, turn the work, double crochets, literally just rows and rows of double crochet until the work kind of like reaches the length that I want it. I'm happy with the width, so I'm literally just making 1 big square panel, very easy, and then it would be the same for the back panel as well. So yeah, basically just that's my plan, and not really like using much of a measuring tape. I'm just gonna like hold it up against me basically. Okay, so we are now on day 3, I believe, and I have just finished my first front panel, and I think it just took so long because I made it quite oversized, and I ended up basically just doing rows and rows of double crochet, and then when it kind of reached, when I held it up against me and it reached kind of the height I wanted it to be, I added some shoulder sections, so I basically just decreased on the kind of inside of the panel to create this scoop neck, and I left the edges from kind of here out the same, no decreases, so I just decreased along the edge, and I basically just decided how large I wanted the neck hole to be. So as you can see, it's just going to sit on the shoulder like that, and it's still got enough length on it. Kind of at this point it's sort of, I would say, a normal length, so it's not cropped but it's not long, so I've got a little bit of extra room down here to make it the full length that I want it to be. So I want to add some ribbing across the bottom, so yeah, I'm going to basically do the exact same thing, make a second one of these with the exact same amount of chains, rows and rows for the shoulder section. So I'm just going to do that now. Okay, so I've just finished making both panels. Now I'm literally just going to sew across the top of the shoulders to connect them. I've got both of the panels on the inside out, and now I'm just going to sew it across the shoulders and try it on and make sure everything is how I like it. And then after that I'm going to work out how large I want the sleeves to be, and I'm going to do that after I try this on so that I can get a feel for it. Okay, so I'm now working on the sleeves. I literally just made a chain that was the width I wanted the sleeve to be, and now I'm just basically going to make rows of double crochet until I get to the sleeve length that I want. And since the front and back panels were slightly more oversized, it meant that the shoulders kind of drooped down to the top of the arm, so I don't have to do as many rows for the arm. So I'm just basically going to keep making rows and rows of double crochet, and depending how it fits, once it gets to like my elbow, I might start decreasing just to give it a little bit more shape, but I haven't decided yet. So I'm just going to make rows and rows of double crochet until I get to my elbow, and then I'm going to kind of report back. Okay, so I've just finished the first sleeve. I basically did 15 rows of just plain double crochet, and then once I got to the elbow I alternated between a decrease row and then the next row was a normal row, and then I just did decrease row, normal row, decrease row, normal row all the way up. And for the alternating section I did 23 rows of that, so I did 15 rows of normal and then 23 rows where I alternated. So now I'm basically just going to do the exact same thing again, make a second sleeve, and then once I've done that I'm just going to be joining all of the panels together. Okay, so I've just finished all of my sleeves and I've put everything on the inside out, and now I'm going to attach the top of the sleeve to the top of the shoulder. So here is the shoulder section. I'm going to line up my sleeve, the widest part of the sleeve, centrally to this seam here, and then I'm just going to sew across this seam here, and then I'm going to repeat the exact same thing on the other side. Okay, so now I have joined the top of the sleeve to the shoulder, and now I'm just going to attach the seam of the sleeve together. At the same time I'm going to attach the seam of the jumper together. So I'm just going to work in an L shape. I'm just literally going to sew down the seam and then just turn kind of the work and work up this seam here, just using the same method that I have been doing. Then after that I'm going to be working on the ribbing. Okay, so I'm now going to be doing a decrease row on the sleeve, and for the first decrease row I'm literally making decrease stitches in every single stitch, and this is going to like half the amount of stitches that are already in this circle sleeve section. So I'm just going to attach the yarn where the seam is and just make my decrease stitches, and I'm just weaving in any loose ends as I go. So I'm just going to make a single crochet in the same stitch, but I'm basically doing decreases. So I'm going to insert my hook and pull up a loop, and then insert my hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That's my decrease stitch, and I'm doing that in every single stitch. So insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, insert a hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So I'm just doing this all the way around. Okay, so now I've reached back to the beginning. I'm just going to slip stitch into the first single crochet, and then I'm going to start my next row, and my next row is just going to be 10 single crochets and then a decrease stitch. So I'm just going to chain 1, make my first single crochet, and then I'm going to make 9 more single crochets. And then I'm going to make my decrease stitch, so just doing the same thing that I did in the previous row, and then I'm going to do it again, so 10 single crochets and then a decrease stitch. Then I only had 8 single crochets left, so I just did 8 single crochets and then left it. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's basically just because I wanted it to be a bit more of a rounded off cuff. And yeah, I haven't really done like the perfect amount of decreases for the amount of stitches. I think I roughly had about 60 stitches, but I just basically tried everything out first and I liked the way it looked. And yeah, it's not that like serious if you don't have the right amount of stitches for like 10 single crochets, decrease, or whatever sequence you're doing. So now I've reached the end, I'm just going to slip stitch back into the first single crochet, and then I'm just going to chain one and fasten off. And then the wrist section now has become a little bit more of like a balloon sleeve, so it just looks a little bit more flattering, and my hand fits in it fine as well. You don't want to make it too tight because then you don't want your hand to kind of be struggling and like being too tight, so make sure that it's the right fit. And now I'm just going to do this on the other cuff, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to kind of experiment with how I want to do the strawberry stitch on the cuff. So yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to be working on the strawberry cuff design. So I'm going to attach my red yarn where I fastened off, and I've worked out that I have about 30 stitches in my round. I worked out I'm going to be doing 4 normal stitches, and then on the 5th stitch I'll do a strawberry stitch, because then that's 4 plus 1, which is 5, and 5 is a multiple of 30, so it worked fine. So I'm going to do, for the first 2 rows, I'm just going to do 2 rows of double crochet, no increases or decreases. So I've just done my chain 1, and I'm going to do a double crochet in the same stitch, and I'm weaving in all of my ends as I go, and I'm just going to make 1 double crochet into each stitch all the way around, and then when I get to the end of the row / round, I'm just going to slip stitch back into the first double crochet. And then for the next, I'm going to repeat the same thing for the next row, so just chain 1, double crochet into each stitch all the way around, and that's just going to be the start of the cuff. And then the 3rd round I'm going to be doing the strawberry stitch section. Okay, so I'm now starting the strawberry stitch row. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chain 1 to start my row, and like I said at the beginning, I had 30 stitches in my round just after I did the decrease rows, so I worked out that I was just going to space each strawberry out every 5th stitch. So I'm going to start off with just 4 double crochets, and on the 4th I'm going to be changing to my baby pink colour, which I've got ready. So I'm just going to start with my 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and then on the 4th I'm going to be finishing the stitch with the pink. So rather than yarning over and putting through the 2 loops to finish the stitch, I'm going to finish the stitch with the pink yarn. Like that. And then into the 5th stitch I'm going to be making like a puff stitch. So I'm going to yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, and then yarn over and pull up a loop, and I'm making the kind of string quite loose, and then I'm going to repeat that 4 more times. So yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I'm going to yarn over and pull through all of these kind of bulk stitches, and I'm going to leave out the last loop, so just putting through all those puff stitches, and then I'm going to drop the pink yarn and I'm going to pick up the red and finish the stitch with the red. Just yarn over and pulling through the 2 with the red, and then I'm going to repeat the sequence again. So I'm going to do 4 double crochets, and then on the 4th double crochet I'm going to change to pink, and I'm going to drag this colour along as I go. So 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to finish the 4th stitch with the pink. So I'm going to drop the red and pick up the pink, finish the stitch with the pink, and then I'm going to do the puff stitch again. So I'm going to pull up a loop 5 times. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through all of the puff stitches or the puff loops, and then I'm going to finish the final 2 loops with the red, like that. So I'm basically repeating that sequence all the way around. I'm going to do 4 double crochets. On the 4th, change to pink, and then I'm going to do my strawberry stitch, and then on the final yarn over pull through 2, I'll be pulling through with the red. And I'm just going to complete the sequence all the way around until I reach the end, and then I'm just going to slip stitch back into the first double crochet that we made. Okay, so I just finished my last slip stitch, so I just basically slip stitch back into the first double crochet to join everything together, and now I'm just going to cut the pink yarn. But for this next round I'm going to be using my green yarn, so I'm just going to get that ready with a slip knot. I'm going to start my next round. My next round is just going to be single crochets, and I'm going to be pulling up a loop when I get to the strawberry stitch. So I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to make my first single crochet in the same stitch, and then I'm going to make my next 3 single crochets, and on the 4th single crochet I'm going to change to green. So that's 2, 3, and now this is the 4th. I'm going to change to green. Complete the single crochet in green, and I am weaving in the pink as I go, by the way. And now I'm going to be pulling up a loop 4 times on the strawberry stitch, so I'm literally just going to insert my hook into kind of the strawberry kind of bowl, just kind of going in between lines, insert the hook and then yarn over and pull up a loop. I'm going to do that 3 more times, so insert the hook into the strawberry, yarn over and pull up a loop. That's 2, 3, and last one, 4. And then I'm going to yarn over and pull through the 4 loops with the green. So yarn over, pull through the 4 loops, and then I'm going to switch to red, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops with the red, like that. And then I'm going to do my 4 red single crochets, and on the 4th I'll change back to green. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to pull up a loop 4 times in the pink strawberry with the green. Then I'm going to yarn over and pull through the first 4 loops with the green, and then I'm going to drop the green and pick up the red, and I'm going to finish the stitch with the red. Just pull everything down again so it's nice and tight, and I'm basically just going to repeat that all the way around. So 4 single crochets in red, and on the 4th I will change to green, and then I'm going to pull up a loop 4 times with the green, and then yarn over and pull through 4 of the 5 loops with the green, leaving the last loop alone, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops with the red, and just repeat that all the way around. So I'll come back when I've finished, and then I'll show you how to do the following round. Okay, so I'm now on the final round for the cuff. I just did a slip stitch back into that first single crochet, and I'm going to do the last round. So I'm just going to chain 1 and make a single crochet in the same stitch, and I'm just weaving in the green tail because I cut the green yarn. So I'm going to weave it into this round, and I'm literally just making 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. So I'm just making my single crochets in the red stitches, and then into that green stitch, then into the red stitch. I'm just basically going all the way around, making my single crochets into each stitch, and then when I get to the end of the round I'm just going to slip stitch back into that first single crochet that we made. So last round was pretty simple. Okay, so I just did my last slip stitch into the first single crochet, and now I'm just going to chain 1 and cut the yarn, and then I'm literally just going to repeat the same cuff same steps for the cuff on the other side, and that is the cuffs all done. And then I'm going to be working on the neckline. Okay, so I've just done one row where I did a decrease row for the neck hole. So I basically just did a single crochet and then a decrease stitch, single crochet, decrease stitch all the way around, just to bring the neck hole in a little bit more. This way it just looks a little bit more flattering. And now I'm basically just going to be repeating what I did for the cuffs. So I did the 2 double crochet rows, and then I did the row with the strawberry, and then I did the row with the strawberry leaves, and then the last row is just single crochet. So I'm literally just going to repeat that for over here. So I'm just going to start off with my 2 rows of double crochet, and I'm going to just obviously slip stitch back into my first double crochet, then obviously the strawberry row, the strawberry leaf row, and then the single crochet row. So it's basically the exact same, but just this time the hole is a lot bigger, so I'll be doing more double crochets. So yeah, I also wanted to add that after I done my decrease row, I ended up with 54 stitches in the round. Now obviously I need a number that is divisible by 5, because for the strawberry stitch I'm going to be doing 4 double crochets and then the strawberry, so I need 5 stitches to repeat, but obviously I have 54. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the sequence as normal, and then once I get to the last sort of section here, obviously I'll have 4 stitches left. So instead of doing 4 double crochets and then a strawberry stitch, I'll just do 3 double crochets, and I don't think that there'll be much of a difference to spot anyway, but I just thought I'd let you know that if you do end up with, like, you know, 54 stitches instead of 55, or like 61 stitches instead of 60, that you can just kind of factor it out and it won't really make much of a difference. Okay, so I just finished the neckline. So I actually ended up just doing 1 row of double crochet to begin with, and then I went straight in with the strawberry row, then I did the leaf row, and then I just did the final row of single crochet, because I think that with the 2 double crochets at the beginning, the neckline was just getting a little bit too high for me. But obviously if you want a higher neckline, or you want it to be kind of more of a turtleneck style, then you could definitely do the extra row of double crochet, but I just didn't want to. So just thought I'd let you know that. And now I'm just going to be working on the hemline. I'm going to be doing like a decrease row just to cinch everything down a little bit. I'm not going to decrease it too much, like 1 single crochet decrease. It's already kind of at its perfect width, I guess, but I just wanted to do a decrease row just to create that shape. So I'm not sure what decrease I'm going to do. I probably will decrease maybe every 10th stitch or something like that, because I just don't want it to be too much. I don't want it to be too tight around the waist. And then after that I'm then going to just carry on with my strawberry row. Okay, so I have just done my first like row where I did decreases every 10 stitches, and I'm liking the way the shape is looking. And then I kind of had a realization as I was doing the decrease row that I don't think I'm going to be able to do the strawberry stitch on the hem, because I'm basically crocheting upside down, and when I crochet the strawberry stitch it's going to be upside down when I flip the jumper this way. So I'm crocheting it like this, and then when I flip it back up it's going to be an upside down strawberry, so I don't think that's going to look very good. And then the only other option is to create like the hemline ribbing separately and then sew it on, but I don't really want to do that. So I've decided for the hem I'm literally just going to do rows of double crochet, similar to what I did on the cuff and the neckline, and I'm just going to miss out the strawberry stitch. I'm just going to do maybe like 4 rows of double crochet roughly, and then my final row the single crochet, which is a bit frustrating because I did want like kind of everything to be matching, but I still think it's going to look good. I've got so far obviously the neckline, and then I've got the cuffs which match, and then I think that the red along the bottom is still gonna look good, but it's just a shame because it was not the plan that I had in mind. Yeah, and I've really enjoyed making this jumper, because I think a project is so much more exciting when the outcome is kind of coming out how you want it, and I've tried it on and it's like fitting really nice, and the colours are like really what I'm into at the minute. So I'm going to do the 4 rows of double crochet now, and then I'm going to come back and kind of give you an update if I'm going to like leave a row or add a row, whatever. And then that's pretty much all it, and then the last step I have is to just weave in all of the ends. But yeah, and then I'll be doing a try on. Okay, so I've just finished my last row and I fastened off. I basically just did 3 rows of double crochet, and then I didn't end up doing the final row of single crochet because the kind of hem would have, I think it would have got a little bit too thick. So I just kept it at 3 double crochets, 3 rows of double crochet, and as you can see the thickness pretty much matches the cuff and the neckline, and I wanted everything to match. So now all I'm going to do is just weave in all of the little ends with my hook, and then I'm all done and I'm going to try it on for you guys. And this is the final result. I really loved making this jumper. If you enjoyed this vlog, please consider subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up, as it really helps the channel out. And don't forget to check out the members section of my channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys.